IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Made in India, hosted by May Thomas, where she brings exclusive acoustic sessions and interviews with the best independent musicians in India.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Welcome to a new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast, and well, I'm back on the show, and today we have a lot of things to talk about, and I have Kevin here cringing. Are you upset that I'm back on the show, or do you want to do
I'm
the
relieved.
show?
I'm relieved. Thank you so much. You're the best Indian football podcast host, and I think you deserve to be talking more than me.
Okay then. Well, let's get down to business then. We have Chiranjeev joining us via phone call. Now, yesterday we had like 3 matches in one in ISL, 2 in I-League, some on-field, off-field controversies, and especially more of on-field, but we'll come to those games. Before that, we have good news, bad news. I don't know what news it is, but I think it's good because we have our gaffer, the national team gaffer, Stephen Constantine. AIFF has extended his contract. Chiranjeev, more on that, please.
Yeah, well, his contract has been extended. There's nothing more to say on that. Yesterday, I think me and Kevin went deep into the details of why it should be extended. And by the time afternoon came around, the AIFF technical committee announced that it's done.
Well, looks like they heard our show then.
Approve it.
Yeah. Looks like they heard both of you talk.
He was already the highest paid foreign coach in India, and he's gonna get more, I think. So, money for him.
Okay, at least somebody is getting their money. Well, now, moving on, we have some more misery and some more troubles to already dejected and a not good-looking team, or rather their performance. Aizawl FC, the defending champions, they have something more to add to their list of not-so-good things happening at the moment. One of their players having some permit or visa issues. Chiranjeev, can we have some more details on that? What's happening with that?
Yeah, so there is this, the states of Mizoram, Manipur, and Nagaland, and sometimes some other surrounding states impose this extra limit on travel for Indians and foreigners. For Indians, it's ILP, the Inner Line Permit, and for foreigners, it's PAP, Protected Area Permit. So sometimes you have to certain categories of people have to register beforehand and get a permission to visit those areas. Like if you're going into Mizoram, at your entry point you are supposed to fill up a form, like give them a passport size picture and state your purpose of visit, and you get a limited entry form. Like I'm pretty sure you remember doing it at Lingpur Airport.
Yeah.
So you do that. Manipur, the situation has actually relaxed. Manipur is not an ILP state. Like Indians don't need to fill up anything. But apparently it's a PAP state. So some foreigners have to take it. Now, here's the catch. There was some legislation passed in Manipur which relaxed the whole requirement for most people. But citizens of China, Pakistan and Afghanistan still have to get a protected area permit, right? And that's where it got a little bit confusing, because Aizawl FC manager apparently was not aware that Masih being a Afghanistan citizen, he still needs to get a permit, protected area permit. And so when Aizawl FC team showed up at the Imphal airport, they stopped Masih. It was a bit serious, because if you show up without a permit, you might even be thrown in jail until the situation gets sorted out. It's looked at seriously, because China, Pakistan, especially China is actually a major issue. It even becomes political in Manipur. So the thing is, of course, everybody understood that it's not Masih's fault, right? He didn't know that he had to get it, and the travel arrangements are made by the team, not the player himself. He didn't buy his own tickets, he came with the team. So I think the fault sort of lay with the team manager, who should have had that information. But what had happened. So Masih was taken to the police station from the airport, and when the news broke out, immediately some of the major officials of Neroka FC also rushed to help him out.
Okay.
They helped with his initial paperwork, and after that he was allowed to go back to the team hotel and stay there with the team for the night. But here's the catch: they're trying to get him the permit, but if it doesn't come through on time, he will not be able to play the match. So we're recording at 11:20 a.m. and so the offices must have opened by now. And since Neroka, the owners of Neroka are well connected politically, so I'm pretty sure they are rushing through the paperwork in some government office right now, and hopefully he will be able to play. Otherwise, though, it might not happen. But they still have time. It should go through. Let's see. It all depends on the bureaucracy now, whether or not Masih gets to play. And if he doesn't get to play, that's a bit of a setback for Aizawl FC. So let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there was also a statement issued by Aizawl FC officially, thanking the owner of Neroka FC along with the team officials and also the Chief Minister of Manipur. So that just shows that work has been done in the background, and the best efforts have been put forward by both teams, not just Aizawl FC.
Right.
So that's something that's commendable on Neroka's part as well. They want to get things clear, as far as possible, get the entire team playing at the best strength.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what even yes, you are rivals on the field, but off the field you definitely would want to look after each other, right? Because that's what brings you together to play a good sport.
Yeah, and the good thing was that Masih, he was a bit confused at first, but he handled it well. And there were some, when the news went out, I think, initially, how things spread on social media, people thought he was in trouble or something.
Right.
He was never in trouble. They treated him very well, with respect, as you should treat a player. It was not he was a guest of Neroka in the end, because the home team does take up a lot of responsibilities when it comes to hosting I-League matches. So yeah, he was treated with respect, and hopefully he will get to play.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's hope for the best. That's all we can do. And now moving on to the matches. We had 3 games, like I said from the start. Now, Chennai and Mohun Bagan, it was a goalless draw. Looks like kind of
Chennai,
now
Chennai
and... Well, I'm getting used to both of you making mistakes, right? So it'll of course happen. Bad company. So, well, Chennai City played Mohun Bagan, and it was a goalless draw. Looks like Bagan has taken a hit on their they had an outside chance. They were coming out over there, but this draw kind of puts them on hold. Well, on the other side we had Minerva taking on Shillong Lajong, and it was a 3-2 win for Minerva. A lot of things to talk about beyond the scoreline. We'll come to it. The other match that took place was Pune City took the game to their hands, and they won it with 1-0 scoreline against Northeast United. So they've more or less they're going to be there in the top 4. It's a great season for them. They right now sit at the second place below Bengaluru FC. Now, coming back to the Minerva match, because I think both the other 2 matches have nothing much to talk about, because I don't know. Minerva matches. Well, I think Minerva match will have much more things to talk about even for Kevin, because they played Shillong Lajong and it was 2-all in the end. Kevin, we'll start with you.
So Shillong travelled to the new stadium of Minerva Punjab. What did
New stadium?
New stadium. It wasn't even a... What quality of pitch was that? It was pathetic. It more looked like...
We could be harsh, but it was garbage. It was
It looked as if the ground, as if the match was played on a mud ground, and that bad it was. The patches.
Thankfully, I hope there were no injuries.
There were no
right?
injuries, but it was poor. It was poor. It was poor. It wasn't even looking like as if it was ready for any sort of a game.
Yeah, and that's a team sitting on the top of the points table.
Look at that. No, they could have just waited for some more games to happen, some more weeks to let it go and have the match, the pitch being ready. So that's should skip talking about the pitch because the match was so interesting. 2-0 quick lead for Minerva. It looked like it was all smooth sailing for them.
Yeah, the first half was that.
And I think they got complacent. It does come to you sometimes. You're playing a mid-table team, and you're sitting on the top of the table with two goal lead. It looked as if it's going to be ending in the favor of Minerva, but then Shillong Lojong decided, okay, we are not going to be sitting back,
right?
And the defense moved up, the flanks converged inside, and there was so much pressure put on the defense. I think that made them make the mistake. And Samuel, what a game he had last year afternoon. I think he totally deserves the captain's armband, and just by that incident, I think that was a game changer. So the score was 2-2, and Minerva had just taken the lead, and there comes a good cross from Samuel again, and Odafin goes and heads the ball. I didn't see anything wrong with that, and the referee just points. It's a free kick given to Minerva, saying it's a foul on the keeper, whereas there was no attempt made by Odafin to even get close to the keeper. It was a clean one header, and that should have been 3-3. And I think it would have been a fair result from my side, but for some reason the referee decided it was a foul on the keeper. And that was strange, to some extent, because even the foul that was given against the keeper, Dagar, the mandate says that if you're holding the ball for more than 6 seconds, if the goalkeeper holds the ball for more than 6 seconds, when there's no player in the box, it's an indirect free kick in the penalty area. I don't think that was 6 seconds, although it looked like a long time, but we have to start counting from the time the last opposition player leaves the box, and it wasn't even 3 or 4 seconds. But it could have been a game changer. The free kick was awarded to Shillong, and what a free kick that was, again saved on the line. But there were some questionable decisions from the referee, especially just before the second goal from Shillong Lojong was scored. There was Bazi Armand, who came with a stabbing leg on, that was so bad it could have been in a career-ending tackle, and referee chooses not to give anything for that. And thankfully, it worked in the favour of Shillong Lojong, and they went on to equalise. But again, looking at the referee's decision, he just didn't look in control, and that decision of not awarding that goal, and I think it could be a disastrous situation for Shillong Lojong in this run.
Now, Chiranjit, now we get the argument of the other side was saying, okay, the referee issue is everywhere. It's not just in India. It's everywhere. We watch it in EPL, we watch it in La Liga, all the top leagues, everywhere. It's a normal thing. But the season has seen just a game after game after game, whether it's I-League or ISL, doesn't matter which league you're watching right now in India. The referee decision is getting pathetic. I mean, to see... rather than seeing improvement, they're just going down and down and down. So when will this end over here?
Well, it will end when we don't have a parallel league, and we don't have to give we won't be forced to make the less experienced referees officiate matches. I mean, there is a sense of scale, right? How many times referees mess up, it matters, because once or twice everybody can forget and forgive, but it's happening time and again and again and again. The Pune City Kerala Blasters game we talked about, Minerva Punjab Churchill Brothers game we talked about, even later Chennai City versus Mohan Bagan. What was that? That's like, it was so bizarre. It looked like a badly written B movie kind of a thing that was happening. how can anybody just look at that and be okay with it? And by the way, Akash Jackson's out was the name of the referee who was officiating Chennai City versus Mohan Bagan, who gave Mohan Bagan that arguably wrong penalty, which then Akram failed to score, and that's how it was 0-0. And then what does he do? He goes and gives a second yellow card to Arif, and then asks Edwin to go away. Like, he could not. He probably wrote the number 3 badly and thought it was number 8, a jersey number. It was such a shameful case of mistaken identity, and it's not the first time he's been under fire. He was the same referee was officiating Churchill College versus Minerva Punjab 5-6 days ago. Same referee who did not give a penalty to Minerva Punjab. So you have the same people. Pranjal Banerjee has messed up game after game. You have Akash Jackson out as well. The same characters who are, making mistakes game after game. So what will happen when he officiates next time? You think the players will respect him? No. The way he failed to control the game, Do you think he will have any control of the next game he officiates? And you have actually games being turned by the decisions of the referee. Like Shillong Lajong would have had a draw had that goal not been disallowed. Who knows what would have happened if Mohan Bagan had scored the penalty? They could have actually blamed the referee for making them lose a match. And 3 penalties not given to Pune City in the Kerala Blasters match by Pranjal Banerjee. I think he was the referee in that game. Well, had they been given, they would have probably won the match. So you can just point out different matches, and you just know that the referee has actually turned the game. How can you have that in a professional setting? I don't care at this point whether we are in a unusual situation where there are parallel leagues happening. We have these mini matches and these few referees, so we have to give chance to the new referees, and you're gonna want to see them develop by experience. At this point, it's a matter of saving the season. And it just happens again and again. Mumbai City versus Chennai FC. Remember the penalty was given to Mumbai City despite the foul being outside the box. What do you even call that? It's just not fair at this point, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. For all the good things that we are seeing this season because of the parallel leagues, new players coming in, we have also seen new referees come in, and that is the price we are paying for holding ISL and I-League simultaneously. Okay. By the way, one piece of information. When Mohan Bagan officials got involved in the scuffle with the referees and all of that, you know what the Mohan Bagan officials were doing? They were supporting the Chennai City players. The Chennai City players were bewildered. Hey, you're sending off the wrong guy. The Chennai City players were bewildered and they were yelling at the referee telling that. And the Mohan Bagan officials went to the fourth official and said, they're right. You're sending off the wrong guy. So imagine what happens when the two sides are telling the referee that, hey, you are making a big mistake here. And the referee, I think he just gave Edwin a second yellow for protesting or something like that, dissent, and sent him off anyway. And Arif played the rest of the game.
It's just so funny to even recollect that incident.
It's not funny, Kevin. It's not funny, man.
It's funny in a way, when somebody is pointing out. Obviously, one team can always be protesting because it's against their team. When the opposite team comes and tells you that there's a mistake happening, you could have just understood and try to take a moment and see, maybe consult the fourth official who's there outside the ground. Just make sure that this thing was correct. But I think he was already past this decision. He didn't want to consult anyone.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I wonder if the refs actually sit back and watch the videos. How these coaches show you match videos of your previous. Okay, these are the mistakes you've done. Do the referees actually
Video
do that?
analysis.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you also feel sorry for referees. They must be not getting good training. They must be paid on time or whatever like that. So they're like, hey, we don't give a damn anyway. So. But I hope this attitude change. It comes from top.
You know what they should do? Forget the VAR system. Give that person a Hotstar. Have an extra referee who is watching the game on Hotstar and can stream back. Something happens, you don't have to have a replay system. Just anybody can do it on their freaking phone. Look back. 15 seconds back, played back, and you can still stream that moment on your device, and you can see what happened. And you can tell them, you can't make a 2-minute delayed streaming anymore. You'll have to actually stream it live. But everybody will like it. I mean, there is no profit coming from streaming it on a 2-minute delay. But, what are you going to...
Yeah, I mean, a lot of options, but I don't think anyone's listening to our options. Now, let's slip into a short break. We'll continue with this on the other side, and we also have a one match to look at in tonight's fixture, and also Kerala Blasters kind of look probably hit on their, on their morale because one of their star players won't be playing. So all of that on the other side.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I've done episodes so far on demonetization, GST, surgical strikes, immigration and MRP. And I will continue my forensic assault on the truth in the weeks to come.
Catch the show every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer. Or visit seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
And we're back again. It was a short and sweet break, and here we have a game to look at. Now we kind of combined both the matches into one where we spoke because both the matches had referees being highlighted because the decisions that kind of marred either Chennai and Bagan to get a goalless draw, and here it could have been a draw but it was a win to Minerva. So a lot of things happening. Hopefully one day we see it. Hope is the only thing that we can hang on to.
Matches messed up by referees.
Yeah.
That's what we're dreaming of right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, basics, right?
State of things, yeah.
Well, let's look at tonight's game then. We have ATK playing Kerala Blasters. Now, what I was saying is probably we must have checked on social media because Kerala Blasters have tweeted this that Ian Hume had suffered an injury against FC Pune City, and that looks like he may be out for the rest of the season. Now, Ian Hume has, expressed his despair over this, and Kevin, a big hit for Kerala Blasters because the team was doing well and Ian Hume was doing well in particular, and their morale was kind of going well, and they are still in the race to be in the top 4, kind of considering where they are placed and all of that. So what do you have to say? What do you think is going to happen in tonight's match without Ian Hume?
Ian Hume is one of the stars. I think he is the man among the foreigners who's been loyal to the ISL and who's been coming back and delivering. That's more important. Just being there is not just enough. And for whichever team he's played, I think he's given his best, and goals have been easy to come by when Ian Hume is on the field. It's going to be a big miss for Kerala Blasters. Obviously, they relied on him in the second half of the season comeback, and he was instrumental. If not scoring, then he was right there putting pressure on the defenders. So it's a kind of a situation where everything looked good, smooth sailing for them, and all of a sudden this happens. So I don't know if they can get in a replacement striker, but they can't replace Ian Hume. They can get in a striker, but they can't get in Ian Hume.
Yeah.
So it's looking a little bleak for Kerala Blasters. But the good news is they're against another bleak side, that's ATK. So possibly, David James uses his experience and understanding of the game and ISL to get in that one goal or two goals. That should be enough for them to see this match through.
Chiranjeev, your thoughts on the match and Ian Hume missing out?
Well, he would have been such a crucial player in this game, right? Because he's played for ATK as well in the past, and he has had that stadium as his home for a while. I think 2015 season he was playing at Salt Lake Stadium for his matches, so he knows the place. He somehow knows the team, and he could have delivered something out of there. I think Kerala Blasters are in a much better shape, and they have way more players who are actually finding the net than ATK right now. We saw how they could still get stuck in and fight for a win till the last minute. They just have that spirit which ATK don't have after back-to-back losses. ATK more or less look like they're in a disarray. I'm not even sure if they realistically think they can aim for the top four anymore. But yeah, Kerala Blasters still can. They're actually dreaming, and they have a good possibility of making it there. If they win tonight, they will be on a streak. So yeah, all advantage to KBFC unless referee.
Yeah,
you just don't know. That's the wild card.
Yeah.
I think if we should, rather than producing predicting scores or match results or who's going to score, we should start predicting like how many mistakes the referee will make and how many
yellow cards, how many red cards, who will go out, how many penalties.
Yeah, and because in the end that has become like the defining factor in the match.
Yeah, it always does, no? Referee has that.
These days it's such a shame. So unless that happens, if the referee manages to keep his cool, and I'm sure like ISL and I-League and AIFF, everybody will be mindful of it now that it has exploded. Like after the yesterday's match, Chennai City have actually their coach said he intentionally messed the game up and gave Mohan Bagan a penalty. So you have everybody coming out and saying these things against the coaches.
Yeah.
And before you saw so often. I'm sorry, I'm just going back to the referee thing because it's boiling my head right now. You saw how Aizawl FC coach Paulo Menezes was targeted for speaking out against the referee. There was that incident in Aizawl, which was, of course, should not have happened, but it's a result of the symptoms that we've seen in the league. We've seen I think Ranko Popovic has been suspended in the past, and he got a red card in the last matches again. Other coaches have also been warned or fined or whatever it is. Now everybody's speaking against the referee. And do you see referee doing anything? AIFF doing anything? They're not going to do shit because that's how bad it is. That's how bad it has gotten now that everybody is speaking out and AIFF is losing control of the discipline that the coaches are supposed to maintain. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I will be watching the match. It's ATK versus Kerala Blasters. You know, the game has some flavors. These two teams have played two ISL finals. The two most boring ISL finals till date. But, they have played it. So there is some attraction to this match. And every single time every time the referee's shot comes up, I will be just thinking please get it right. Please get it right.
Yeah. Kevin, now let's move out with the referee. But do you see goals tonight?
Goals have to be coming, I think, more for ATK than Kerala Blasters because they need to step up. Obviously, the playoffs look like it's beyond ATK's reach, but at least some pride. We are seeing some shift over there in the management also. Ashley Westwood.
Great shift.
Ashley Westwood may not be given the head coach tag, obviously, and
now we also hear that Robbie Keane
might be heading
manager.
Coaching. Excellent.
Yeah,
we are going back to those good old days.
Ashley Westwood said that there is no longer a player-coach rule in ISL, but then again, we have that rule saying.
Well, ISL has their own set of rules, so they can just change whenever they want to. So
yeah, man, seriously, even what's happening with that? Like Robbie Keane, he can't play anymore. Of course, he might become the head coach on paper or something just to get around the rule. But here's the deal: Robbie Keane, does he have any coaching credentials? Why not? Like, what kind of a joke do you have to be?
That's all.
Yeah, what kind of a joke of a club do you have to be to have him as your head coach when you have Ashley Westwood in the team? Like, oh man.
Let's not go back to that.
By the way, East Bengal are going after Sanjay Singh now. Khalid Jamil may be replaced by Sanjay Singh before the end of this season, ahead of Super Cup or even in the middle of the league. So, I don't even know what's happening with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think more than.
But the big problem with giving Ashley Westwood the head coach tag for this match is that there is a rule that says the assistant coach cannot be in charge of more than 3 games at once. You have to get a new head coach before that. And of course, ATK don't.
And they anyway have like 4 games or 4 to 5 games left, so they don't want a new person to come. So we already have a marquee guy, let's make him the manager. Anyway, he's not going to play, so let's make him the manager. We are anyway in shitholes because... Oh, shitholes, I just said shitholes, the Trump's favourite word. But it's a way of... I don't know why we have been saying they are very tough to reach. They're not going to make it. As simple as that. They're not making the top 4.
I think they've given up more or less.
Yeah, of course.
Unless they win tonight. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, other than I think Kerala Blasters will just take an advantage and go all blazing, all guns blazing. With we saw some amazing goals from Jackie and then CK Unit. If they continue to fire like that, it's going to be their game. So, that ends and brings an end to the show as well. We've had some great the show has been marred. Our show has been marred with referee decisions. What the hell, referees? Get your act together and do something good. So we talk good about you as well. So hopefully we see some good action of football and we don't talk tomorrow. We don't continue talking about this referees issue tomorrow. Rather, we might just see applauding them for their good work. Let's hope for that. If you like the show, then please show us some love on our YouTube channel. Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any episode. Let us know your thoughts about... I think we only spoke about referees, so let us know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. And if you want to talk to us directly, you can do that on Twitter. Chiranjit Toja, Boza, Kevin Suju, Matthew 94. Have a great day, folks, and come back to us tomorrow. Cheers.
There she stands, a podcast addict, outside the bank, having travelled several miles to get in with other poor souls like her. The journey, though daunting for this youngling, will have some comfort because she has downloaded her favourite podcast. You can see more of her species on ivmpodcasts.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.